If you were thrown into the wilderness with only a gun and ammunition, would you be able to survive? Though this is unlikely to happen, you still might want to know how to hunt anyways. Most people cannot safely operate a gun and use it effectively. You should know how to obtain your own food other than just going to the grocery store. According to statisticbrain.com, only 7% of the U.S. population hunts. I have been hunting with my parents since before I can remember. Hunting is easily one of the biggest parts of my family's life. Waterfowl hunting is a very efficient, ethical way to obtain food and conserve wildlife. According to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, proceeds from federal duck stamps alone have contributed more than 5 million acres to the National Wildlife Refuge System. I'm going to inform you how to set up, successfully complete, and take down after a waterfowl hunt. Pre-hunting strategies and setup may be more important than the hunt itself. First, you must scout and find a field. So you're going to have to drive around at night when the birds are coming in for feeding to find a field that many birds are landing in. You may come across a sign like this which says posted private property, hunting, fishing, trapping, or trespassing for any purpose is strictly forbidden. If this comes across, that means you cannot hunt on that land unless you have the landowner's permission. At the bottom, it'll have their name and address, so you can contact them and ask if you're going to be able to hunt there. If they say yes, then you have permission. Though all fields aren't posted, many of them are. Then once you find your field, you're going to want to watch it for about a week in advance before the hunt to make sure that the birds are consecutively coming back. You must set up the decoys once you arrive at your field for the hunt, which the decoys are fake plastic versions of the birds, strategically in order to get them to land. So here's an example of a decoy spread. These three are the blinds that, for example, 3 hunters would sit in. You hide them and pop out when the birds come. They set up birds all around them over here, and they left a big open space, which is the kill zone, and that is where the birds are supposed to land. You also have to take wind direction into account. So if the wind is coming this way, the birds aren't going to be flying into it. They're going to be flying with the wind. So you're not going to set up your blinds way over here because the birds aren't going to fly into the wind. After setup, you put your plan into action. When the birds fly in, you want to start shooting your shotgun when they're about 20 to 30 yards away. This depends on how accurate you are. If you're not a very accurate shooter, you're going to want them to come in a lot closer than that. Make sure not to shoot over your limit. This means there's only a certain amount of birds you can shoot per person per day. According to the North Dakota Game and Fish, regular season limit per person for ducks is 6, and for geese it is 8. Of the 6 duck limit, only 2 can be hens, which are the female version of the birds. This is an example of a drake mallard, which is the male. This is another common duck that you see in North Dakota, which is a pintail. And this is the female hen version of the mallard. And it's brown, and you can distinctively tell the difference between those two, and a lot of the hens will just have brown coloring. And then this is a Canadian goose, which is the geese that we shoot in North Dakota. After you have reached your limit, or tried, you can take down your decoys and blinds. You will load them into a trailer or a pickup box or the back of a Suburban, and then you'll be on your way. But first, you have to make sure to pick up all the empty shotgun shells and garbage around as you are hunting in somebody else's field. Upon arrival home, you will want to clean or butcher your birds, and I'm not going to be able to tell about this process because that would be a whole other speech in itself. After that, you're going to wash and clean the meat, and if you're going to eat it that night, you will cook it however you want. You can fry it, cut it up into like steak chunks. You can pretty much do anything with it. And if you're not going to eat it, you can just put it in a bag and freeze it for whenever. And then this is the main purpose of hunting, is for food, so you do need to eat it. This process of a decoyed waterfowl hunt may or may not be a new useful asset to you. Duck and goose hunting is a very efficient, ethical way to obtain food and conserve wildlife. I have told you how to set up, complete, and take down a hunt. Hopefully you all may give it some thought into trying it.